everyone, welcome back to the End of the Fourth Football Show, Season 2, Episode 1. We are a month removed from our last episode, our season finale for the end of the 2022 season, which was our Super Bowl 20, Super Bowl 57. I'm so out of the loop right now. It was Super Bowl 57. Yeah, that's right. Super Bowl 57 reaction show. And we're back for a new season, and we're rejuvenated, and we're excited to go ahead with this new format. We've got lots of stuff coming up. I got a new haircut for the season. Anybody that paid attention to our last kind of year and a half or year of the video shows saw it was just long hair for me, but now it's cut. I mean, you're eating some noodles and you slurp up your hair with it. It's time to get rid. And I'm speaking from experience there. So we're back. If this is your first time joining us on the Let's Talk Sports Network, I am Brendan Hurst, aka B-Hizzy. That's a nickname I always introduce myself as. I'm a Packers fan, despite wearing this. This is kind of just to annoy Chris.
No rings.
For now. But yes, I am a Packers fan, and I'm joined by my fantastic co-host Chris Mullaney, aka The Prez, or the full nickname, again, is the first time you're joining us, The Prez of the Danny Dimes fan club.
Yes, despite the fact of all my love for Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr and the Jags and everybody else.
Yes, you are a Jags fan. Let's get that out there if this is the first time you're joining us. But does stand a lot of different quarterbacks along the way. I mean, so do I. I mean, I've been proven right the last 2 years now about Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts. So I wonder who my guy will be this year. What's that?
Still no rings?
No, for now. But I wonder who my guy will be this year. Maybe Jordan Love. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But yes, we're back and we're here for season 2, and we're going to start off with the catch-up of news that we have missed over the last month that we were off air. And I think the biggest one is that Jalen Ramsey was traded to the Dolphins. No, I'm kidding on. This Aaron Rodgers saga seems to be coming to a head. It looks like it could end today. With him being traded to the New York Jets and the Packers moving forward with Jordan Love. We're just kind of waiting. He's been through his darkness retreat. He's kind of just been speaking to Brandon Marshall at golf events or something like that, saying, stay tuned, it's coming soon. And then it was leaked that it was done, but then it wasn't done. And then there's this list of guys that he wants up there. Al Lazard is one of them. He has signed with the Jets 4 years. $44 million in all, $22 million guaranteed, which, is a good move for the Jets. I think it's a little bit overpaid, but I mean, they're obviously wanting to push this deal through and get Aaron Rodgers as a Jets player. So what do you think about all this? It's just prime Rodgers, really, isn't it?
Mr. Rodgers, right? I don't want it all to be about me. I saw this on Facebook, actually. I don't want it to all be about me. It's the exact same as when your wife says, I'm fine. Then he wants all these. Then he said, "I've no weapons in Green Bay. I'm going to go to New York," and he wants the same weapons.
Proceeding to want the same weapons that he had in Green Bay. It's strange. I get you want to play with your boys and everything like that, but I mean, I don't know. I think that there's got to be some kind of financial compromise made for the Jets, because they're just, I don't know their cap situation, but I don't think they'll be able to afford $50 million of Aaron Rodgers' salary. So maybe he just gets a new deal.
It's great for the AFC East, but it's bad for New England. Because, and we'll get onto it in a wee second, right? The AFC East is exactly the same as the AFC West. You're going to have Josh Allen. You're going to have Aaron Rodgers. You're good right now. Don't jump down my throat. You're going to have Tua with all his offensive weapons.
No, I'm a fan of Tua. I'm up for that. Yeah, absolutely.
And then you're going to have Mac Jones. It's a wee bit like, you've got a Porsche, you've got an Audi, you've got a Mercedes, and then you've got a Skoda. I do realise there that I picked not a German one, but Volkswagens are pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with Skoda. I mean, I think in your comparison, Mac Jones is fine. but he's not on the level of these guys and the situations they're in. And,
No.
when it comes down to it, that AFC East is going to be, again, another top division in 2023. I think it blows the division wide open. I don't think the Bills are a sure thing, to be quite honest. No matter what you think of Aaron Rodgers, coming off not a great year by his standards, but I don't think the Bills are a sure thing at this point because the Jets have a better defense. They execute better. Another year together, I think their offensive weapons are, could be just as good. They get Odell Beckham Jr., which is one of the guys that Aaron Rodgers wanted. What's to stop them, really, from contending with the Bills? And they did beat the Bills last year. And that was with Zach Wilson,
I just think, though, the Bills last year fell off a cliff after the Damar Hamlin incident. Had that not happened, had they then beaten the Bengals, I think they would have beaten the Bengals that week. It might have been a different story. But we're not going to get into buts and maybes. But if we want to move on, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is, in my opinion, the 6th best quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go 1 to 5 because that will split the building.
No, I could get up there. I think based off what we've seen in last year, there was a clear decline in his play, whether you want to factor in the broken thumb or not. But maybe we'll see a resurgence. Maybe he does win MVP again next year. It's all to be seen, and I think it's very exciting to him to be a Jets fan.
It's exciting to be a Jets fan, but also that dysfunction in the Jets front office at times, though, is a bit. And Aaron Rodgers doesn't like drama.
One thing I think is rather funny is Aaron Rodgers kind of, I don't know if he's manufactured this headline himself or kind of made himself the main character. Can be what you like. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is my favorite player. People that have listened to this podcast show before know he is my favorite player of all time and always will be. But that doesn't hold him back from criticism for me. Last year I was very critical of him. I said he's just not playing well. And that is something that I need to be honest about. But one thing I need to be, frank about, it is very, very funny, is him painting himself or saying that he's been made out to be a villain by Big Pharma, and then joining a team owned by a massive proponent of Big Pharma and Woody Johnson. I think is rather funny.
Exactly, but who knows? I mean, Aaron Rodgers is a strange character.
He's very strange. And can we also just point out that Woody Johnson's name is Penis Penis.
Oh.
Am I wrong?
I'm not going to answer that because that's very immature of you. We're married man.
We're very mature on this show, but when things like that are put on a plate, you can't miss. All right. That's enough Aaron Rodgers talk for now. Other than when the trade goes down, I will be, I don't know if you're up for this, I will be coming on to do a thank you emergency trade show. Aaron Rodgers, thank you. And I think it's going to be emotional, and obviously I'll get into it when it gets in there, but Aaron Rodgers has been a big part of my love for this game, and to see him then walk away from my team, I mean, I'm at peace with it now. I understand this is what happens, but there's more to it, and I'll get into it in the show. So I think, Chris, a lot about it, but yeah, we'll get into it. But yeah, when the trade goes down, we'll come out with a show. Maybe it's tonight, maybe the show goes out tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see. But yes, enough Aaron Rodgers talk for now. Jalen Ramsey been traded to the Dolphins. I think this was like a cap issue for the Rams.
Yes, but the fact is, I mean, he got traded for nothing.
Yeah. I mean, a fourth string tight end on a 3rd round pick or something? Yeah. Not great value there. But I mean, the Dolphins, they get a superb addition to their defense, unless he's going up against Devontae Adams.
Ah, well. He'll be a Raider.
It's true. It's true. Speaking of the Raiders, Jimmy Garoppolo signs with the Raiders. This is a good move. People are slating this. This is a really, really good move.
Apart from what I said about 2 seconds ago. You've got Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, of course, aye.
And you've got Justin Herbert.
Mm.
And I think Russell Wilson has a bounce back year.
I agree.
And then you have Garoppolo.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's the same analogy we had about 2 seconds ago. And it's starting to look like the Raiders' defense is crap. It is crap.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have to trade up now.
Mm. Yeah.
So they can stick at 7, and you will still get a very good player.
I mean, I think there's a lot of mock drafts which have potentially seen. I've seen Jalen Carter fall as far as 8, and if Jalen Carter's on the board for the Raiders at 7, I think you pull the trigger. To be honest.
Well, what I do think though, Jalen Carter will be going to the Sun. He'll be going to Arizona.
Yeah.
I've got a top 10 draft prediction.
Okay.
Keep it under wraps.
Mm-hmm.
But I have him at 3.
Mm.
I have Will Anderson going as far as 8.
Okay. Oh well, that's interesting. Okay. Yeah. So, no, I think this is a good move. In fact, to be honest, I know you're going to disagree with me here. This is an upgrade on Derek Carr any day of the week. All right. Their numbers are virtually the same. But if Jimmy Garoppolo can stay healthy, he's proven that he can take you to the promised land. I knew you were going to disagree with me.
Jimmy Garoppolo is a better quarterback than Derek Carr.
Who has more playoff wins?
It doesn't matter. Jimmy Garoppolo has a loaded roster. Had a loaded roster. You're not getting a pass on that.
I mean, I'm happy to take some heat for that, but I want a metric which proves Derek Carr is better, because the numbers are almost identical. This is insane to me.
Derek Carr has more fourth quarter comeback wins than Jimmy Garoppolo.
I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo is an overthrow away from being a Super Bowl champion that he started.
No, because he was an overthrow, but like Joe Burrow, like Jalen Hurts, he still has no rings.
Mm-hmm. As is Derek Carr. He's never won he has 0 playoff win rings. I know that's not a real factor, not a real metric, but he has no playoff wins.
Stop having a dig at Derek.
Excludes you from the elite conversation. You cannot be in the conversation as elite if you don't have a playoff win. Just one, and that's fine by me. Right? You're in the conversation. Obviously, guys, Baker Mayfield, no, right? Not elite, clearly, right? But that is the criteria to get into the conversation. Then you can make an informed decision. But Derek Carr, absolutely not.
Okay, I'll allow that.
We'll agree to disagree. I know you're a Derek Carr fan,
then.
and I don't want it to be a shot. Look, I don't have opinion on Derek Carr. I don't think he's great, but I don't think he's bad. And we'll speak about him now, I suppose. What do you think about his move to the Saints?
He's the best quarterback in the NFC South.
Yeah, no, I agree with that for sure.
Until
the Panthers draft whoever they're going to draft at number 1.
No.
No?
We're going to go into that in a minute, because I've been looking at the 2 of them. I don't trust either one of them.
No?
No.
Well, that is going to be the big part of our show. We will get into that. All right. Well, for sure. I think I agree with you there. I think Derek Carr is for sure the best quarterback in the division. But it is filled with crap. Yeah. You've got Kyle Trask starting in Tampa. I don't know if that stays the same. I think there's going to be something that moves there. And Andy Dalton's just signed for the Panthers.
So why the hell did they move up to 1? And what I mean by that is Andy Dalton is a very serviceable quarterback in that division.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I mean.
Look, Andy Dalton, if Andy Dalton has to step in for whoever starts games, if the Panthers take a quarterback, which we think they will, if Andy Dalton has to step in, or if this quarterback they decide just isn't ready, Andy Dalton has to play 6 games. Andy Dalton could get them to 3-3, and then when this guy they take plays, they're definitely within a real shot of still winning the division for sure. We've seen it in Cincinnati. What, he's a 2-time division winner, I'm sure, something like that.
I like Andy Dalton.
I mean, yeah, Andy Dalton's numbers through PFF last year, I don't have them to hand, but I've seen were very, very good. He was something like, I can't remember the metric, but he was top 10 in something. I know that means absolutely nothing. I can't back it up, but the numbers were fine. He was fine, and I think he gets too much hate for what he is. He's fine. He is absolutely fine.
Definitely.
But yeah, I think that Andy Dalton experienced and can teach whoever they take at number one the ropes for sure.
Or are they going to do what Kansas City did and sit the guy for a year behind Andy Dalton?
Could be the case.
Because there's a fella I think he's called Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm. Kind of worked out pretty well for them.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
But then again, why'd you move up to one?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
What else have we got? Anything massive that went up? I can't think. Well, obviously the Panthers moved up to number one. I mean, people are kind of slating them for what they gave up. Included DJ Moore, who's was their best player. But I mean, I don't mind the move. It's fine. They go up to get their quarterback of the future, who I think, regardless, is probably going to be doomed in his first year with the situation that the Panthers are in. No offensive line and now really no weapons.
It was a bum move from Chicago. They messed up.
You think?
Yep.
I mean, I think it's a good move on both sides. I think
the trade value is fine, but what Chicago should have done is gone to 4 with the Colts, then gone to 8. And you would have got 2 firsts and a couple of seconds and maybe a 4th and a 5th. And maybe you might have got, maybe you might have got Paris Campbell or something from the Colts, or, a tight end or something. But Chicago's dysfunctional.
Yes. Fair enough. I won't disagree with that, considering the state of the room I'm in. Kind of just some more little free agent news. James Bradbury's re-signing with the Eagles. He turned down more lucrative offers apparently before re-signing with the Eagles. He stays he will probably move up to their cornerback 1, as they're going to release Darius Slay, which is a surprising move. Leighton Vander Esch re-signing with the Cowboys. The Vikings have finalized a 2-year deal with Byron Murphy. Lions have signed David Montgomery, which to me kind of sounds like maybe they look like they'll be moving on from Jamal Williams, which is a surprise move, to be honest. Jamal Williams is, obviously coming off a career year and a leader in that room, that locker room. And I think that's a really bad move, to be honest, to be letting him go.
Or DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you know
I still think he's got a couple of years left, but
I know. I just think that although teams are getting better players than what's currently there, it doesn't mean they're going to move on. Sometimes they bring in this elite talent. I'm not saying David Montgomery's elite. He's a very good running back. They're bringing them in as sort of competition.
Yeah.
Because maybe having a better, like, for example, and I'm just going to throw it out there. If you're a team with no salary cap in the NFL that had Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, and say Trevor Lawrence as your QB 1, 2, and 3, the talent and the competition would be awesome.
Yeah.
Because all 3 are elite.
Absolutely.
And all have playoff wins.
Yep. That's fine by me. Could you see Jamal Williams in New York rejoining Aaron Rodgers? I could see it. That'd be another really good running back room. Bryce Hall coming off the ACL tear. They've got James Robinson. I think Michael Carter's moved on.
That would actually be not a bad running back room.
It'd be really good.
Could you see Aaron Jones trying to get to New York?
Aaron Jones has restructured his deal with the Packers. He's staying. Yeah, he's a Packer for life.
So was Aaron Rodgers meant to be. What happened there?
Fair enough. I don't know what's going on with this hair. I'm not going to lie, but at least I won't be slurping it up with the noodles. on the other side of this move for the Lions, the Bears, do they maybe look to get a running back? Could they trade down again from 9? Or maybe trade back up into the bottom of the first round and look at getting a guy like, Bijan Robinson. I know they don't have a second round pick because they gave it to the Steelers in the Chase Claypool trade, which is essentially a first round pick. But
I think, right, that if there is no generational talents within the first round, just trade out of it. Why give up? Why pay first round money for a second, third round player? And with the running backs position, you can get 70% of an elite running back in the 5th round.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I'm telling you, I've got this GM lock marked down to a T.
Absolutely. All right, then moving on. We've got the Falcons have re-signed Caleb McGarry to 3 years, $34.5 million deal. That's a good move. Colts are releasing Matt Ryan. Stephon Gilmore's been traded to the Cowboys. Obviously, we touched on it earlier. Alan Lazard signed a 4-year deal with the Jets.
Matt Ryan to Arizona?
I mean, we stopgap.
It's just something. Just when you said he's getting released, I'm just thinking Arizona need a quarterback.
You don't like Colt McCoy for them while Kyler Murray comes back? I mean, the look on this ACL tear for Kyler Murray is it looks like he could be out until maybe the middle of the season because it happened so late last year.
What I would do with Kyler Murray right now, if I were the GM, sit down and tell him you're not getting on the field, son. Come back, not this season, next season, and gets to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Do what the Colts did with Andrew Luck.
No, fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm telling you, I'm going to be a GM in this league. I'm telling you.
Eagles agreed to terms with Rashad Penny. Oh, this is one you'll like. Daniel Jones gets a new weapon in Darren Waller. The Giants traded for Darren Waller from the Raiders. That's a good move. It's a really good move.
It gives them 2 great tight ends. Sterling Shepard's also coming back. So there you go. Then he's got 3 wideouts. He's got 2 tight ends. He's got the running back, the room. If I'm the Giants now, if I'm the Giants now, I'm looking at bulking up my defense.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to get any offensive linemen in this draft that late as where the Giants are drafting.
Not anything that they would really need. They can need a left tackle. Really, not too sure about Andrew Thomas.
But you see what I mean? You don't want to overpay.
Yeah. All right. Finally, from me, we have Ravens quarterback for now, Lamar Jackson, has tweeted that he turned down a 3-year, $133 million contract, which was fully guaranteed, and this was turned down. I mean, I would love to be in the position to turn down $133 million. I'm sorry, that's the dream right now.
$133 million. So I mean, you'll have a few quid.
Yeah, just a bit. Maybe buy a couple cars with that, sort himself out, get on his feet, that kind of thing.
I mean, not to get mathy, but after taxes and agent, it's about $94 million.
I've been playing a lot of Magic the Gathering recently, and I just want to say math is for blockers. 10 points for anybody who likes that.
Oh my God, you really have to. You need to get out more.
I think I'm actually going to go and play some Commander after we finish here. So,
as long as you're not doing Commando, you're all right.
What's that?
As long as you're not doing it Commando, you're all right.
Well, we'll see. All right. Anything from you? Anything you want to add before we move on?
Nothing major. We covered everything that was major.
Yeah, I mean, we to be honest, we could see the Aaron Rodgers trade go down tonight, and then we're back here tomorrow for the reaction show.
Well, it could also turn around and say I'm re-signing with the Packers.
I
You
mean,
never
yeah,
know with this.
we never know. We never know. I think everybody would be pissed, to be honest. But regardless, he is a strange character, and we will have to see what happens.
Give me 2 seconds. I know I've just jumped off there because I'm just checking my horses.
Oh, you betting on horses? Not impressed.
By the way, for the record, it wasn't me that picks the horses.
Oh, is it Emily?
Yeah. She has a great theory.
Oh, yeah?
She picks a quarterback,
Okay.
and whatever number that quarterback is, that's the horse she picks.
That's good. That's good logic. I mean, if horse racing wasn't so vile and brutal, then I could get on board with that theory.
So, for example, she picked the Bengals. It would be whoever number 9 is.
Oh, this guy right here.
Yeah.
Best in the division by a country mile.
We'll get to that. I've actually got a Steelers top coming soon.
Oh, really? Mr. Pickett?
I could get TJ Watt, but you know me, I don't play defense.
That's it. I mean, I like defense a little bit more than you, but reality, we're both quarterback guys. We're both offense guys.
Exactly.
All right. Well, before we move on to our super awesome comparison between the top 2 quarterbacks in this year's draft class, I want to give a shout out to the Livingston Inferno American football team. I am part of the team recruiting for players for the 2023 class, we could say, and no experience or knowledge of the game required. Any shape, size, gender. Well, not gender. That's for another team. Any shape, size, fitness level. That's what I meant to say. Welcome to join. And all you need is a non-metallic studs and something to drink. Check us out on Facebook, which I have shared it through the show page a couple times. Livingston Inferno American Football. Looking to get to train in the next couple of weeks. And yeah, okay.
Where are you playing? Waterboy?
Where am I playing? Well, I'll be interim head coach. Because it's very hard to find head coaches or really any coaches in the Central Belt. And I will also play quarterback for now, but hopefully want to play running back because I'm insane. So
you'll play Waterboy. Right.
I mean, anybody that plays running back in Brit Ball, fucking mental. So I've spoken to a few and they're insane. They're absolutely insane. It's probably due to the brain damage, but you know.
That's it.
All right, we'll take a break, and then when we're back, we'll get into our Bryce Young versus CJ Stroud comparison. And we are back, and I've got my support animals here, because as we were on our break, the trade is official with Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. He is heading there. He's just waiting on the trade. They're just waiting on the trade compensation. The 2 teams just need to come to an agreement on that. He was just on Pat McAfee, and yeah, I mean it's official. I mean, like I said, I was at peace with it. I expected it to happen. I think now it's finally here. It's almost just a weight lifted from everybody's shoulders. And yeah, so excited to see the future with Jordan Love. I do think we're going to be fine. Give it a couple of years, things get figured out down the line. But I genuinely do. I think we'll be fine. I think that things will fall our way one way or another. And yeah, so there's that. The special Aaron Rodgers reaction show is going to come tomorrow. Chris, will you be around for that?
I think I'm waxing my beard that day.
Ah, right, okay. Well,
I generally don't know. I think
let me know. Let me know.
I think I spent time with the missus.
That's fine. I'll do the.
More rings. She's got the same amount of rings as Aaron Rodgers. 1.
Come on, I'm raw here. It's emotional.
Well,
I'll Lone Ranger it. It's all cool. But yeah, just in other news, the Cowboys are going to release Zeke Elliott, and the Buccaneers have signed Baker Mayfield. I like that move. I really do like that move.
Still not the best quarterback in that division.
More playoff wins though. Well, I mean,
Yeah,
he is on
but
his third team now in the space of a year. I mean, is it even
fourth,
a year? I don't even know if it's that.
I think it's like his fourth team he's had, and
Yeah,
about
fourth team.
19 coaches and
Mm.
37 different coordinators.
Yes, we'll see. I still like the move, though. I still like the move.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll move on and we will get into the comparison of the top two quarterbacks in this year's draft class. We've got Bryce Young out of Alabama versus CJ Stroud out of Ohio State. Who do you want to start with?
To be honest, as I said to you off air, I don't trust either one of these two guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think they will make it in the league,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not going to be a let's arrive and let's set the world on fire. It's not going to be that.
Mm-hmm.
They're not Trevor Lawrence. They're not Andrew Luck. They're not Patrick Mahomes.
Mm.
Basically, these two guys, one's out, obviously, as you alluded there, Alabama, Ohio State. So they're playing with 5-star receivers, 5-star tight ends, 5-star O-lines, 5-star running backs.
Historically as well, quarterbacks from those colleges don't translate very well to the NFL. I mean, I can't think of any. I mean, is there
Tua?
Jalen Hurts, but he
Jalen
played
Hurts?
Tua, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, I can get on with, but he did transfer to Oklahoma. Tua, I want to see more. Ohio State, I can't really think of any. Not seen enough from Justin Fields. I think he will pan out. I do, but I need to see more.
I just think both of them they will struggle initially, but this putting 50 points on teams and 40 points on teams, I will make a prediction right now. If either one of them puts 40 points on an NFL game, I will wear a dress on the podcast.
I like
on
it.
The show.
We'll hold you to it.
We'll hold me to it, but I do not see the Panthers doing it, and I think the other one will go with the Texans.
Okay, well, maybe not a dress. Maybe what about if you just come on in like clown makeup?
Oh,
the full
honestly,
shebang. Do it.
Honestly, it is. I don't see either one of them because I think the Panthers have traded away DJ Moore. So who's he going to throw to? They're going to have
Terrence Marshall. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then who's the Texans got at wide out?
Brandon Cooks, is he still there? I mean, that's it, really.
I think is it Chris Moore's the other one?
Yeah, something like that.
You know what I mean? I know he's got Damian Pierce who can maybe catch out the backfield, but realistically, how do you see these two panning out?
Look, I think obviously they're both very good. I think they'll these guys are Pro Bowl quarterbacks level, and could the quarterbacks that tend to come out this highly touted, come out the draft this high, it's likely we could see these guys go 1 and 2, whatever order it is, we don't know yet. And I think that both of them could still be in with a strong shout for offensive rookie of the year. I think you're right though that nothing's gonna. I don't know if they're gonna really set the world alight in terms of 40, 50 points in games in this first year, coming out of college and going to teams which generally aren't great top to bottom on the roster. The Panthers, you're right. Who are they going to throw to? Texans are the same boat. The Texans defense is crap. The Panthers defense is a little bit better. It's a lot better actually. And it's a lot to see. I think that, whoever goes number 1 ends up in the better situation. I don't really think that's anything to argue with. Panthers are a better situation. And they're going to obviously learn behind Andy Dalton. Learn behind him. He'll show them the ropes, get them up to speed, that kind of thing, but not necessarily, they're not necessarily going to set the world ablaze.
Do you know who you forgot about? Mac Jones.
Again, no, I think he took a sophomore slump, wasn't great last year, and I just want to see more. But I mean, for sure, I could be on board with that. I'm not saying he's definitely not going to live up to Tom Brady in New England, but I think he's talented enough that, if you surround him with the right pieces, he can win you enough games to maybe get you in the Super Bowl, Super Bowl. So
it's like I'm actually right. I'm going to read this out to you. This is last year for Oklahoma. Okay? This is who they played: Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas, Miami, Missouri, Mississippi State, Auburn, South Carolina, Clemson, Florida, lost to Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, UCLA, Ole Miss.
Not
No,
the
sorry,
strongest.
That's the wrong one. Sorry, I looked wrong. I don't give myself a bit of a tip, but you see what I mean, though. I mean, they play pillow fights every week.
What college was that for? Ohio State.
Sorry, that. In fact, right here it's here. This is the schedule of last year. They hosted 4 SEC conference opponents.
Who was what team was this? Sorry, was this
Alabama? Sorry,
Alabama. Right. Okay.
Arkansas, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and LSU. They travelled to Florida, Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Auburn. You see what I mean? These are people that they should be tanking.
They should be rolling over, and there's a little bit of a knock on Bryce Young, looking at coming off the Heisman campaign in 2021, that his play declined in 2022, and that's rightly not affected his draft stock, but they did lose a lot of their weapons. He did lose a lot of his weapons going into the 2022 season, and I think that is something we should take into account. He had I think I read a stat, it was something like 22 drops in all of 2022 as receivers, which led the NCAA.
It's just, if I'm being brutally honest, a lot of this is going to do with landing, where they land. Because I'm going to be honest with you, if Aaron Rodgers had come out number 1 in the draft, in his draft class, he would not be the same guy as he is now. If Tom Brady had come out number 1 in his draft, I don't think he would be the same guy. I mean, the one they always talk about is Rob Gronkowski. He fitted well in New England, but would he have been that same Gronk if he'd have gone to Cleveland or Oakland? A lot of this is to do with landing, and I think the problem you have with these guys that come out top of the draft, they will be eventually world class and will be fantastic to watch. I think their first 3 years is going to be really bumpy, and if they go and fail, the world gives up on you. The only one I can think of is Drew Brees, who got a second crack of the whip.
Absolutely. All right, well, we get into their kind of scouting cards, their positives and their strengths and weaknesses.
On you go.
Let's start with Bryce Young. All right, does that sound good?
Yep.
I've got my notes here. I'm all good. I wrote them down this week. Bryce Young, looking at the game tape, very, very good at extending plays. In or out of the pocket, whatever you like. And he keeps his eyes downfield the whole time, especially when facing pressure. This is huge, right? CJ Stroud doesn't do this as well. In fact, he doesn't do this well at all, for one thing. That's really the biggest thing is as a quarterback, as a leader of an offense, you can't freak out when you face pressure. And if Bryce Young can keep us cool and not deviate and he doesn't have that kind of timer in his head where he thinks, okay, 1, 2, 3, gone through my progressions, right, guys in my face, I need to bail out and run. He can do that, but he doesn't panic and do that, which you still see at the higher level of the NFL. Justin Fields does that. Josh Allen does that, who we all say is one of the best in the league. And of course he is. But, if Bryce Young comes into the league with this ability not to freak out, and I know defenses are faster at the NFL level, and there may be points where he does freak out. And I think that's going to be natural. I think that's going to have to be coached out of him. But the fact he doesn't do this at the college level, regardless of who he faces, right, you can say what you like about their schedule, right? Alabama, they always get a cupcake schedule. It's fine. I think if you can come into the league with that ability and not have it build up into something too much, it's easier to be coached out of you. Do you get what I'm saying?
I do get what you're saying. I think What I think they're going to have to do with Bryce Young, the Panthers have a very good running game. We saw that last year.
It got better after Christian McCaffrey was traded. So
yes, I think what they're going to have to do is do the exact same thing the Jaguars did with Trevor Lawrence. Run the ball and make him throw 3rd and 6 or, you know, 2nd and 5, things like that. Don't ask the guy to throw the thing 47 times in an NFL game. Because you'll get hit more than once. And if you start throwing the thing on 2nd and 21,
yeah,
you know, you're snookered. And a lot of things this year, and a lot of the offensive line coaches with these rookie quarterbacks have got to absolutely fundamentally nail the word discipline. No holding, no false starts, no, you know, illegal offensive linemen downfield.
Help your rookie quarterback out as much as possible.
Yeah, and keep him upright.
Yeah, don't get him behind the chains. Keep him upright. Absolutely, I agree with that. So yeah, I think that's still part of the Landon thing, and I think the Panthers' offensive line is capable of doing that. I think they're strong at they can keep him upright. That's the main thing. We don't know how they're going to do it in terms of holding, but I think they're definitely in the bracket of good enough to keep him upright.
Are they a playoff team this year with Bryce Young?
I don't think they've got the weapons, but I mean, who knows who they sign in free agency?
That's the thing, and a lot of it will come down to schedule as well. They're expected to sign Hayden Hurst.
That'd be good. That'd be a good move.
That's another weapon for. We're saying Bryce Young, but it could be CJ Stroud. Realistically, I think it's going to be Bryce Young.
Yeah, I agree with you.
He's the one that's at the top of a lot of the
big boards.
Yeah, and he was number 1 on mine. I'm now going against that. I don't know. I don't think the Panthers are very, very good historically with ownership.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. They do have this new owner.
And the last number 1 quarterback they picked turned out to be an MVP and made a Super Bowl.
Of course, within the first 5 years as well. So, you know, there's no reason why.
The only problem was he faced a guy on the defensive side who was number 2.
Yeah.
You know, as he said, you were picked 30 seconds before me. I'm going to be 2 seconds behind you in this one.
All right. Next positive for Bryce Young. I think his ability to reset his feet and flip his hips, especially on the move, is a big factor at him being able to avoid single rushers. Yes. The offensive line can anchor a couple guys and he does face maybe one free guy. He can flip his hips and still get the ball away with a lot of velocity and do it right. A lot of velocity, a lot of accuracy. And this is leading to, I think it was a game against Maryland. I could be wrong in saying that. Don't quote me on that. I think it was a game against Maryland that he did exactly that. He rolled out to his left. There was, no, I think it might have been Tennessee. It was Tennessee, I think. He rolls out to his left. And his face, obviously running, his body's facing that way. He flips back round while being under pressure, and he sails it right into the receiver's arms. And it was just a great throw, great velocity, really accurate, and nobody else could catch it. Really, it was the receiver, or it was nobody.
Which will be helpful in the NFL if you're under a lot of cosh, under a lot of pressure. Of course, that's obviously and. Eventually, as well, when you're in the 3rd and 4th quarters and you're maybe down 14 points, you're going to be under a lot more pressure because a lot of defenses go, well, ooh, they're going to be throwing it. I'm going to pin my ears back and go for you. So if he can flip his hips, get a lot of velocity behind it, and throw deep, the Panthers can get back in the games. Sorry, I feel really bad saying the Panthers all the time because
no, I think we're both in agreement at that. I think for argument's sake, we can say the Panthers.
Yeah, but we'll see how he goes. I think, again, NFL defenses are a lot faster than college, so we'll see.
Just to double down on that, I think his footwork, just in general, is absolutely excellent. I think, in the pocket, regardless of whether he faces the pressure, he can move up in the pocket and deliver on time. But that was just a wee point. And I think that his ability he's excellent at sensing the pressure. He's got that key trait that you look for when you're getting a rookie quarterback, is he's got that sixth sense to sense the pressure, where it's coming from, and avoid it. And then that moves into his other ability, being able to flip his feet. And these abilities, they're all NFL caliber traits. He is perfect until you get to his size. He measured. No.
You're not getting away with he's small.
No.
Because Kyler Murray's small, been hurt, but that's irrelevant. Russell Wilson's small, but he's won a Super Bowl.
And he's never been hurt, really.
Exactly. So Johnny Manziel was small, right?
And crap.
Doesn't matter, right? Baby, small. Nobody is getting a pass on. He's small and he's light. You know what? See if you're small and light, go get a job in McDonald's. You don't want to hit off 300-pound linemen. Nobody, right? And I'm warning you now, and I am warning you in advance. If you come on the week one review and go, it was a bit small this week, I'm going to quit the show.
But what if he puts up 40 points in week 2? You've already quit the show. You still need to honor your deal.
We'll see. I just don't see the Panthers putting up 40 points. I just don't.
No, I think you're right. Bryce Young, he measured at 5'10" and 1/8 of an inch, which is oddly specific. 204 pounds. He'd be the lightest quarterback taken in the first round since 2003. I agree with you, though. I don't think that it's a really valid excuse. Russell Wilson, small, won a Super Bowl, never really been hurt. And to be honest, Bryce Young is probably about as mobile as Russell Wilson is.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I'm not giving anybody a pass on, height. Because in football, but offensive linemen are 6'8". You name me one quarterback that's taller than 6'8".
There you go.
But they all can't see over the line.
To be fair, when they're stood up and they're blocking, you better hope that they're not stood up at 6'8", because they're just coming right back down onto your feet. So,
yeah, but you know what I mean.
Hey, you, Mrs. Bo.
Lovely. He's more intelligent than you.
What's that?
He, she, it,
she,
they.
she. I rate it. All right. I don't think he's got quite the strongest arm in this draft class. I think that he's got the occasional underthrow and inversely got the occasional overthrow. But the biggest gripe for me is that he takes a lot of unnecessary hits, and combining that with the size really makes me worry about durability issues. Now, I think he was relatively okay at Alabama, but 5-star offensive line, as you pointed out, generally can help you avoid taking the biggest of hits. But we've said a few times on this show now that every quarterback, every player in the NFL has a number inside them from when they come into the league, and that number is how many hits they can take. And once that's 0, it's just over for them. They just can't perform the same way they used to do, and not long after that, retirement hits.
So what number is Joe Burrow on?
Oh, he's getting close. But yeah, no, I think that it's not out of pocket, it's not out of line to say Bryce Young will be the number 1 pick if the Panthers are looking at the quarterback, which it's likely they are. They're looking for their guy for the next 10, 15 years, and I think Bryce Young can absolutely fit that bill. I think that he fills everything they could be looking for, and can maybe cover up from the deficiencies. So we said the offensive line is fine. It's not great. I think that he still will take a few hits this year. But I think that they've got the potential to really contend over the next at least 5 years with Bryce Young.
Yes, I would say so. And being from Alabama, where's he playing? Tampa,
Deep South.
warm weather.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta in a dome. New Orleans in a dome.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be fine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Even if it's the Texans as well, it's warm weather. So
yeah, but in a dome.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. NFL comparison. Who would you compare him to? Which pro quarterback would you compare him to? Just as a fun exercise.
At the low end,
mm-hmm.
okay, if he absolutely crashes and burns,
mm-hmm.
he'll be Johnny Manziel.
Mm-hmm.
Top end, Russell Wilson.
Yeah. I heard, and I think I agree with this a lot. The comparison I would say to him is none other than Aaron Rodgers. I think that his extending playability is really, really good. I think he's more mobile than Aaron Rodgers, which is great. And I think, if he can bulk up, put on some muscle, and get up, stronger arm, I think Aaron Rodgers is a great comparison. The words I heard was Bryce Young is like Aaron Rodgers if you left him in the dryer for too long. I think that's a good way to put it.
Okay. We'll see how he goes, but definitely if he crashes and burns, Johnny Manziel, high-end Russell Wilson.
Yeah. Russell Wilson, Super Bowl champion, So got to 2 as well. And, he's one Malcolm Butler interception away from being a back-to-back Super Bowl champion. So
exactly. And beat the GOAT.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Humiliated the GOAT.
Mm-hmm. You're talking Peyton Manning there?
Yes.
Yeah. I was just indulging my luxurious, beautiful, fantastic, crisp, clean Scottish tap water. Oh, can he beat it? Can he beat it? All right, let's move on. CJ Stroud out of Ohio State. I think he's the great prototypical size you want for an NFL quarterback. 6'3", 215 pounds, and a frame he's got room to put on and bulk up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think as we say, a lot of it was where they land. So he's going to probably go to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Had Chicago stayed at 1 and bailed off Justin Fields, he was the perfect quarterback to take.
Yeah.
Big, bulky, muscles. He's going to Houston, right? And he will potentially be the second best quarterback in that division when he arrives. Should he, of course, well, doesn't matter which one goes to the South, the AFC South, will be the second best quarterback in the division.
Who would he be behind? Trevor Lawrence, yeah. I think that would be about it.
That's it. That's
Ryan Tannehill is probably done in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there.
I just think that coming from Ohio State, again, not an awful lot of quarterbacks make it in the NFL that have played at Ohio State, and we'll see how it goes. But
hey, Joe Burrow played at Ohio State.
I know, but then he went to LSU.
Yeah.
So I'm only counting quarterbacks who were actually drafted from Ohio State.
Yeah.
Because you could basically go, well, so-and-so went to Ohio State and so-and-so went to Ohio State. Yeah, but it doesn't really work like that.
I mean, who else have you got from Ohio State? What's the Barrett? Something Barrett? I can't remember his first name.
Give me 2
Is it RJ Barrett?
He's a basketball player.
Is he? Maybe that's what I'm thinking about. RJ Barrett, and before that we got EJ Manuel.
You see what I mean?
That's gonna annoy me. I mean, I can't remember the guy's first name. That shows you how much he made an impact in the NFL.
I mean, on the defensive side, of course, you've got Chase Young. But I mean, Justin Fields, the jury's still out on him. It's going to be very interesting to see how this guy actually performs.
No, I agree with you. I think that He's the most accurate quarterback in this class, but with a small asterisk, and that having wide open receivers all the time tends to help that kind of thing.
Yeah, of
I
course.
mean, this he's got is it two receivers that could potentially go in the top the first round this year?
Exactly. This is the thing. We keep talking about guys out of Ohio State and guys out of Alabama. These guys, until you physically play in an NFL game, we will not know how good you actually are.
Absolutely.
And this is what worries me about CJ Stroud making it. Because he's going to go to Houston and there is nothing to throw to.
Yeah.
Literally nothing.
And as you said, you quote, who is it you say is the most beautiful woman on the planet? You quote, my husband can't throw to himself.
No, my husband can't throw and catch.
That's it. Yes, that's right. Because he could throw to himself if he was lined up in a shotgun formation.
Patrick Mahomes did it.
Exactly. Marcus Mariota did it. Scored a touchdown off it.
Exactly. So he can throw and catch. Of course, say that when my wife's not here.
Yeah.
But no, I think it will work eventually. I think he will work and it will be very interesting.
The strongest, the biggest strength we say that CJ Stroud has is an excellent pocket passer. I think that he's so brilliant from the pocket, and that is, you know, it's not a knock on Bryce Young because he's a good pocket passer as well. But you want that presence. Primarily, the pocket is where your quarterback is going to be as a head coach. That's where you want your quarterback to be really all the time. If you can, if it's going to help the team the most, you want him to be in the pocket, and you know, just for the sake of him not getting hurt, really. So he's excellent pocket passer, and he's superb target in the middle of the field. And those two combined obviously make a great match.
But with the Texans' offensive line, how many times a year will he get a clean pocket to throw in?
That's the worry. Now they may bulk up. And they do have 2 first-round picks, so they could bulk up that offensive line.
They could, or what's the second pick they've got? What's the number pick they've got?
12, I think.
12. You don't see them going defense second pick, do you? And maybe taking Will Levis or Anthony Richardson later on.
I think that with the number of quarterback needy teams in the top 10, I think those 2 guys are probably gone by it comes to 12. I mean, for sure they could trade up.
They don't have to be honest. If you actually genuinely look, there's only really 3 teams in the top 10, I would say, that are quarterback desperate.
You've got, I mean, the Raiders. It's not necessarily the biggest need now, I suppose. Yeah.
Falcons.
The Falcons could be in the mix.
Maybe. So there's the Colts are looking. So there's 4. I don't.
Who's your next guy after that? Is it Tanner McKee? Well, he's no first round quality.
No, definitely not. But definitely the first 4 are that I've mentioned there. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Anthony Richardson, Will Levis. I'm a big fan of Will Levis.
Oh, well, that's something we could get on to. Hyping up Will Levis, the best of the rest.
He better not come out with number 8 on.
Could you imagine?
But no, that's my worry there. Offensive line for the Texans isn't great, but he's a great pocket passer. So we'll see, definitely.
I mean, they could scheme up in quick routes. He's good on quick throws.
Yeah, Ohio State do an awful lot of underneath stuff, which can elevate a guy's stats.
Absolutely. All right, negatives. There's not many. Let's be honest here. I think the biggest ones is the weaknesses he does have are quite big. That's the only problem. I think that he tends to commit to his first read, going through progressions, pushes him out of his comfort zone, especially if they're not on the same side. if he's looking at one guy, he's going to try and force the ball there. And it can lead to a lot of mistakes. We've seen him turn the ball over a few times, leading have a lot of turnover worthy plays. There was a graph that showed that CJ Stroud was the worst quarterback in college football last year when facing pressure.
I know that's the thing. I mean, year one is when you get rid of all your mistakes. Year two, I'm expecting to see some sort of progression. The problem you have is within the NFL, if the Panthers, who's their head coach? I'm trying to think.
It's Frank Reich now.
Frank Reich. If they go 4-13, he could get fired. Year two, Bryce Young's got a new coach. You know, I'm sure it's DeMeco Ryans in Houston. If he gets fired after a 3-14 season, Bryce Young starts year two with a new coach.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a tough situation for whoever one of these guys lands, because they're volatile situations, in terms of what's around them.
20 minutes, go. Yeah, I know it's very. This is the problem with the NFL. If you're going number one or you're going number two, you're going to crap. Unless, of course, a team's traded up deliberately to get you.
Yeah, of course. Aye.
You know what I mean?
All right, more negatives here. I think he has trouble identifying the backside safety on deep shot plays. Stares down his intended target. And again, if he's doing that, he's not watching the guy coming from the other side of the field sprinting at full pelt. And there's guys which are faster in the NFL. That might be an incompletion, a bat down in college football. It's going to be picks in the NFL. And that's going to be something which needs to be coached out of his game urgently.
I think it could be. Because it's not like he's getting, wee Joe off the street to, be his offensive coordinator or quarterback coach. There will be someone who's played in the NFL or has experience, which will help him. But you know what? I'm trying to think of the last question you're going to ask me, and I'm struggling. But keep going with his negative.
Well, we will take a short break because we're running out of time, and then we're back. We'll just finish off with these negatives, and then we'll get out of here. All right, gonna see this out myself. Chris having some connection problems to finish off the show, but regardless, it's fine. He's been here for the most part. So we're just finishing off with the last couple of negatives and weaknesses. I wouldn't say they're negatives, they're weaknesses. That's probably the best thing, because negatives sound like they can't be rectified, but weaknesses can turn into strengths. I think he freaks out when he's facing pressure. I did say, I'm sure there was that graphic that was made that shows he was the worst quarterback in college football last year when facing pressure. Destroys an otherwise pretty good, decent decision-making ability. And he's quite reluctant to scramble to pick up easy yards. Just 23 carries over the last 2 years at Ohio State. And I think only about 79 carries in his entire career there. And he's got the size. He could run over a guy. Some of these smaller corners, I think he could probably run over them, and he'd be fine. I think this is an ability that he can take to the NFL for sure. And if he was just and he was good against was it Georgia in the college football playoff semi-final in terms of running. He was good then, but you just want to see it more from a guy his size. A guy like he's almost Cam Newton size, Josh Allen size, not quite, a little bit shorter, but would have the ability to run over a bitch, you could say. I will just plug in my PC. And he could make the most of that. But maybe from a coach's point of view, keeping your quarterback away from any hits in total or at all would be the best move possible going forward, really. So, I don't really have much else to say. I think he's well deserving. He could go number one, and I think that wouldn't be a bad decision for the Panthers to take him at number one. I think the two of them are almost polar opposites in terms of their style of play and what they bring to the table. Bryce Young has a better arm. CJ Stroud has a better arm. Bryce Young is more mobile, that kind of thing. And I don't think the Panthers, if they're looking at one of these two, could really go wrong off face value in what we've seen so far. Obviously, CJ Stroud was excellent at the combine. Bryce Young, I think he only threw once or something like that, and didn't really do much else. So we're waiting to see more from him from Alabama's Pro Day. But again, it's slightly different in terms of what you see throwing against air in comparison to what you see throwing against top quality generational defensive backs, corners in the NFL. I'm shaking my hands a lot, but I'm trying to get my point across. So my NFL comparison, I think I did have Matt Ryan down here. I think they're similar, strong arms, that kind of thing. I think that's a little bit harsh. I think if CJ Stroud can, I say harsh, I don't mean harsh. Matt Ryan's very, very good player, and you could, the Colts have released him, but could make a case for him being a Hall of Famer. Maybe not first ballot, of course, but could be up there. Top 30 all time. I would agree with you if you were to say that to me. But that's besides the point. I think that if CJ Stroud can learn to use his legs a little bit more and trust himself to pick up those easy yards and maybe run over a guy, I think his ceiling is Josh Allen. And I think from what we've seen from Josh Allen, this is definitely a good thing. And I know maybe people are comparing Anthony Richardson out of Florida to Josh Allen in terms of freak athletic ability. But from a football standpoint, Josh Allen now, I think a good comparison would be CJ Stroud. So that will do it from this episode. Glad you made it to the end. If you did, give us a like. If you didn't like it, tell us in the description, tell us in the comments why you didn't. If you want to come on the show, let us know down below, and we'll get in contact with you and we'll sort you out. If you just want to get something off your chest, and we'll discuss it with you. Let us know. Find us on Facebook. We're the End of the Fourth Football Show. We're also on Instagram, End of the Fourth Show. That is the word fourth. Yes, End of the Fourth Show. And you should find us on there. Let me say again, the Livingston Inferno men's American football full contact team is looking for players. We're also looking for under 19s, which is the 17 to 19 or 16 to 18s. That's it. 16 to 18s age group. Both genders or all genders, absolutely welcome. And also under 13s, which is no, under 16s. Sorry, I should have got that right. Under 16s, it's 13s to 15s. So, yes, all genders welcome. No experience necessary. All shape, sizes, fitness levels. Absolutely happy for you to come along. But yeah, so Livingston listeners, get in contact with the show, and I'll put you on to the right people, which is me. So yeah. But yeah, thank you for listening. The Aaron Rodgers trade reaction show, after it's a little bit less raw, will come tomorrow, and I can't say it's not going to be an emotional one. Aaron Rodgers has really meant a lot to me, and yeah, that's all I'll say just now. But there's a lot more to this, and why this event, this scenario is a little bit more impactful for me in a slightly different way to football. I'm concealing this as some sort of big secret, but I'll get onto it tomorrow. I'm going to Lone Ranger that show, but Packers fans, make sure you hit us up with your takes. But yeah, I'll catch you tomorrow for that episode. But yeah, thank you for hanging out with me and Chris today, and we will catch you tomorrow, and then we'll be back next week for normal programming resuming. But take care for now, and ciao.